A man rudely brushed past her, knocking the carton of eggs from her grasp. They fell onto the floor, leaking egg yolk onto the tile floor. In that split second when his arm bumped hers, an image flashed into her mind's eye, and Wryn froze. The man was carrying a gun, and his emotions were pumping excitement. She hurried down the next aisle toward the cashier as the man continued to slowly move in that direction as well. Reaching the counter, she leaned over and whispered to the clerk working one of the cash registers, "Listen carefully. Call 911 right now. That man behind me, the one wearing the blue hoodie, he has a gun. I think he's going to try and rob this place. Call the cops, now." The young woman blinked in confusion as the blood drained from her face. Wryn bent over the counter. "Hit the damn button now, then go into the back and take shelter until they arrive." The teenager finally gave a shaky nod and reached under the counter. Without saying a word, she fled into the back where she grabbed one of the other workers. Wryn sensed the man coming up behind her and started to move out of the way. "Don't move, bitch. Give me your wallet." Slowly, Wryn turned around to face the man. "I don't have any cash, just credit cards and my ID." A 9mm handgun with a brown stock was waved in front of her nose. "Like I believe that shit. Just give me the wallet." He snatched it from her hands, and Wryn steeled herself for what she would do next. Grabbing his wrist, she shoved it to the side. The man fired, but the bullet went harmlessly into the ceiling, as she'd planned. At the same time, she threw an arm around his neck and jerked his head downward. His nose connected with her knee, and she heard the solid crunch as the cartilage gave way. The would-be robber howled in pain and fired again. Wryn chopped the pistol from his grip, then ducked underneath his arm, twisting it behind him. A hard shove, and the man's head collided with the front of the counter. Stunned, the man staggered around. Ham rushed into the store and immediately took in the scene. Pulling his gun from his pants, he jumped upon the man's back, knocking him to the floor. "Police, stay down or you'll get more of the same, you hear me?" He glanced up at where Wryn stood. "You okay?" She was fighting the feedback she'd received from the robber, trying to keep it at bay as long as possible. Inevitably, she knew her flimsy barrier would crash, leaving her semi-paralyzed and dazed until it faded away. 2 police officers suddenly rushed into the store, their guns drawn. They spotted Ham on top of the robber and immediately ordered him to lower his weapon. "I'm a cop," Ham calmly told them, but put his service pistol down and shoved it away. "I have my ID on me. This gentleman here is the one you need to question." Getting a tight rein on herself, Wryn retrieved her wallet where it had fallen on the floor and knelt next to the suspect. Opening it, she shoved it into his face. "I told you I had my ID in here. Look at it, asshole. You're not only guilty of attempted armed robbery, but you're also going down for assaulting a federal officer. Have a nice life."